Hello, welcome to Woodline Tracking. I hope you all are praising God today. It's a beautiful day here in Ohio. So let's get started with another section of our 4th gen small team tactics. We're going to go into flank attack. Besides ambushing and peering back, breaking contact, remember we use the word peering to be breaking contact, bounding is attacking going forward. The flank attack is one of the most common, probably one of the most common used to attack on an enemy. We have a whole section in our handbook going into it, and it's not terribly complicated. Remember, we keep it KISS here, keep it very simple to make all Knights and Minutemen accessible. A lot different than some units, because if it's KISS, you're not to remember it, only practice it once in a while. So you need to keep it as easy and attainable as possible. But the flank attack is a good attack, something you should be proficient with in a small team. And it can be done from any type of formation that you're using, most formations you're using. And we'll do a video on formations, because all formations in 4th gen warfare are a little bit different than typical army or big army formations. So let's get started here.
Flanking attack with good fire and maneuver is the backbone of a small, well-trained unit using offensive and defensive 4th gen warfare tactics in the countryside. A good flanking attack can demoralize the enemy and can get him in a crossfire. This class will go over how a small unit, squad size or smaller, can best use the flank/attack. Never let yourself get outflanked. The best situation in which to flank the enemy is when your unit will stay undetected while flanking, so it is important to understand if the enemy knows your unit is there. And while the flank/attack is a powerful tactic, a paramilitary unit should only use the flank when it has the combat multiplier on its side and never use it against an enemy that has 3 superiority: armor, air power, artillery.
Okay. I can't stress enough that you're not going to go up against a big military with a small squad or 4 to 6 guys that they have armor, air power, and artillery. You're just not going to be successful doing a flank attack on them most of the time. The flank attack, it can be confusing at first, but as you do it more and more and become more proficient at it, the better you become, the more comfortable you become doing it, and the better off that is an option that you can do. But again, unless you have number superiority of the enemy and you know where the enemy's at and he attacks you force, you're probably just going to break contact by peeling back. But again, if your mission is to destroy this enemy and you have 3 to 1 odds over him, maybe you want to do a flank attack. And keep in mind, this class, this is out of our small unit, small 4th gen team class, and out of our handbook. All the information you found in our handbook is training here for a very wide brush. The terrain and the mission will dictate how you do this. Also, a lot of people talk about MET-TC. We don't use MET-TC here because we found it doesn't really fit for what we're trying to do, and it makes things a lot more complicated. So we have found a better way by using the acronym teams or COOP and we get the same results, better, easier to train. Now again, I'm not telling you not to follow MET-TC if that's how you're training. Just come up with a simple way of doing it so everybody does it the same way and everybody can analyze the situation the best. And go for it. Again, is this what we use here? We found it to be simpler than MET-TC. So let's go on.
Preferably, the flanking team moves on the enemy from a point 90 degrees from the suppressive team. Doing this exposes the enemy to a crossfire, creates a very low chance of friendly fire accidents, and makes the enemy have to shoot at and defend in 2 directions. The team that is flanking must move quickly, but not so quickly that they lose awareness of their surroundings. They can move shoulder to shoulder or bound. Remember to use cover and concealment, even if it means the flanking team may not move from the 90-degree angle. Never underestimate the psychological effect of flanking on the enemy. They may retreat or give up when they feel they are being surrounded.
And that's very true. If they're in a fixed position and you're flanking them, and they think they're getting closed in, chances are they're just gonna run or peel back or whatever they do to break contact. And how well trained they are determined if it's just an all-out run or they're actually laying down suppressive fire for their movements. And again, people get too worked up on a perfect 90. We'll go into why that's important here, but sometimes out in the field, not everything is perfect, and you just have to go with what you got. If this offers more cover and concealment over here for you, and shoulder to shoulder. When we say that, that means basically the team, the battle buddy team, is moving together at the same time. Not literally touching each other, but close, supporting each other. And of course, bounding means one's bounding up while the other one's coming up, and they're covering each other's movement, okay? Let's move on. And here's a good picture of it, of Team A laid down suppressive fire on the enemy, the bad guys, and the other team coming around and flanking, a bad buddy team flanking at 90 degrees, getting them in a good crossfire, making their cover not effective if they have it for most of the time, because now they're being shot at two different directions, and it's really to motivate them to change their position or give up or something. Next.
The team leader, TL, thinks the enemy is killed or is out of action. He needs to let the flanking team know it is time to clear the kill zone, optional and not optimal, or leave. If the TL thinks it's best to leave, and not clear the kill zone, the unit will peel back. If the TL decides to clear the kill zone, flanking team becomes the clearing team and needs to cautiously approach and move through the kill zone by traveling shoulder to shoulder or bounding. The main, suppressive fire, team needs to provide cover for the clearing team.
Okay, here, you see the team laying down fire on the bad guys. They typically want to come in at 90-degree areas because you're not in the kill zone as long as if you go in an angle, like this is too shallow, this is too deep going in here. So you try, that's the reason we try to go at 90. And again, this team will lift fire once they get in there. Now let's go into how do you tell them to lift fire and some methods you can use, because that's one of the tricky parts. Again, that's if you decide to clear it. You might just shoot everybody in there and leave because more help's coming or you need to get out of there. Again, it's up to the team leader to decide, but since this is 4th gen warfare, you might not always clear it.
The clearing team approaches the kill zone 90 degrees from the suppressive fire team, as in the attack above. The clearing team will be covered for the maximum time, red clearing team in figure 5-4. Approaching from a much greater or smaller angle, black clearing teams in figure 5-4, puts the clearing team in the line of the suppressive fire team sooner and longer. This is one of the reasons why the 90-degree angle works better than the 45-degree angle in clearing. The two teams must have good communication and practice this to avoid friendly fire. The suppressive fire team must pay attention or be told when the clearing team is in the zone so suppressive fire is lifted at the right time. Just using the radio may not be enough as the team may not be paying attention or have a working radio. The clearing team may consider throwing a ball with the ribbon attached, or use smoke, to let the covering team know they are in the zone.
Okay. This is the real trick if you do decide to clear the kill zone, is make sure the other team lifts fire. And again, you can use radio, but I would recommend using two. We have found throwing a ball with ribbon for everybody to see it forward of us as we're going tends to work halfway decent, and they recognize and see that. Again, if there's trees in the way, you hit a tree, it could be a problem, and then you gotta adjust. But again, this is all about practicing coming up and becoming good at this, not just reading about it, fantasizing, actually going out there and do this. Go out there and do this with airsoft. And you'll also find that you'll flag your buddy a lot. That's just real life, but that's why you need to be competent and be a good shot and have confidence in your team and everybody be well trained. Because doing this, you don't want to hurt your buddy or have friendly fire, and that is very easy event. I guarantee you, as you practice this, you will shoot each other with airsoft and screw it all up. That's why you got to practice. It's not tough, and everybody can do it. And again, this is a very wide brush. We go in more detail in this class and through our handbook. So I urge you, go out there and practice this. Become proficient at this. Figure out good other ways, 1 or 2 ways. I recommend 2 ways to try to let the other team know to live fire. And when it comes down to doing it, you'll be confident and you'll perform well. Remember, time may go on, but your life may not.